Welcome, great leaders. It's me on your way this moment, and it's critical for us to do like a summary of what we've been discussing recently regarding conflict. It's important. We have discussed several things regarding conflict, and it's important for us to take another look into this issue of conflict because we live in a world of conflicts, of challenges, of human interactions. As long as we keep interacting with one another, there will always be conflict. Life, no one lives life in isolation. And so it's important that we learn to navigate our way through life in a way that makes it a bit easier in our social interactions and responsibilities. And so it's important that we look at this issue of conflict and the challenges around it again and again. What exactly is the core of conflict? What exactly are we talking about? What exactly are the issues around conflict? And we have been able to discuss these issues from one point to the other. We're able to discuss on understanding the nature of conflict. We're able to discuss on the different zones that conflict can exist. And we're able to also we talked about discovering the good in a conflict, making us to understand that every conflict has a good in it, has opportunities in it. And conflict is not actually good or bad, but it depends on what you make out of it. And so as long as we relate with other people and within the dynamics of relationship, people are vast, varied and complex. And as long as there are limited resources and as long as there are unmet needs and as long as there are also differences in values, conflict will always exist. And so we are not trying to say conflict does not exist. We are saying that conflict exists. And the importance that conflict exists is critical. Alright, so it's important we know that conflict exists. And because it is a human-centered operating system, it's a human-centered influences, and it comes as a result of our interactions with one another. Because we will not always easily understand ourselves. We will have to misunderstand ourselves because everyone is attuned differently. And so conflict will exist. But what is important is what we do when conflict exists. Do we allow it to stay in the red zone or do we allow it to stay in the blue zone? That's what we have been talking about. Alright? Conflict must exist. So the fact that conflict must exist is real. Alright, so know that conflict must exist in your home, in your ministries, in your organizations, in your workplaces. Conflict must exist. Alright, so when you live in life as though you are working against conflict or fighting against conflict or trying to avoid conflict, that scenario may not necessarily bring you a growth environment. A growth environment demands that you live out your authenticity and your identity and your values. And because you must live them out, conflict must exist because others are theirs. Alright, so it's important and it's critical you understand that. But in the midst of it all, what do you do? Then it provides you a growth opportunity. Conflict provides us a growth opportunity, and leadership demands that we become intentional about it. We are intentional about what to do when conflict issues. It's important. And so we were able to discuss about the red zone and the blue zone in conflict. We're also able to look at the issues around conflict issues. And these issues are issues that are resident within us as individuals. Some people have issues of survival. They think in themselves, the world is so bad, I have to sort myself out first. And everything they do are just about sorting themselves out first. And whenever this mindset or value is punctured by anyone, conflict arises. So some people have issues of control. They tell you, well, the world is not to be trusted. I have to get to trust everything and every. I have to trust. I have to get to control everything and everyone around me. And so when any issue that makes them feel that they are no longer in control, it makes them have a sense of loss, and therefore conflict will ensue. Some people have issues of acceptance. All right, they say, well, I'm good as long as people accept me. Once people accept me, I'm accepted. And so their sense of value and worth rests on people's approval. And when it does as if they are not approved for anything, then conflict will ensue. There are others too who have issues of competence. They tell themselves, well, I'm competent for anything you want me to do. I'm competent. When they submit a proposal and you tell them that the proposal will not fly, they have issues with you as an individual. And so when it happens in ministry, in organization, wherever we find ourselves, whenever their competency is punctured or spoken ill against, they have issues with that. And so conflict comes in. You hear them talking about, I'm better than you, I'm bigger than you. I don't know those kind of things that are so menial and petty. And so it's important you understand that these issues around conflict are actually values within us that are very silent and salient, that we really need to look into as individuals. Know what value drives you within the issues of conflict. All right, know what values. So because of these issues, conflict will exist. And so when you are afraid that your survival is threatened, your competence is threatened, your acceptance is threatened, or in what area when you are afraid that your competence is threatened, whatever is threatened, the conflict exists. Conflict comes in. But we are saying that no matter what it is, never make conflict a personal issue. That's red zone. Remove conflict from that red zone to the blue zone. Never come to a point where it's not about you. As long as it's about you, you will never have peace with people. You can't have peace in your family. You will actually be the problem. You will be the problem because you consistently think it's about you. And as long as you consistently think it's about you, you will have problem with people. You will quarrel with everyone, whether in your ministry, in your church, in whatever, in organization, in the workplace, you will quarrel. You will never have peace with people because you considered yourself to be the object of conflict. And as long as that exists, conflict will always be. So never make it personal. When you make conflict personal, then you are the problem. Whenever you make it personal, then you are the problem. Always see it as organizational issue, and that's where blue zone resides. Reside your conflict, your misunderstanding within the blue zone. It's about our family. It's about our ministry. It's about our organization. It's about this, our community. It's about our nation. Learn to resolve conflict within this terrain. As long as you are able to resolve conflict within this terrain, you will grow, you will thrive, you will advance, and your adaptability will increase. All right, so most of what causes conflict among people is because they make it a personal issue. And as long as it continues to be a personal issue, it will not be solved. People think their credibility is questioned. People think their survival is threatened. People think their competency is threatened. People think their control, their ability to control things is threatened. And that's why conflict exists among people. And this is why it exists. Because there is unmet needs, there's limited resources, and there are variations in values. Alright, so the next issue is about conflict, how people also position in conflict. We talked about it, conflict, postures in conflict. Alright, so a lot of us have our postures in conflict. Some people have their posture is just to blame. Once there is a conflict, they won't take unconditional responsibility. They will blame. Playing the blame game does not provide the solution. Great leaders have unconditional responsibility, all right, over issues. It doesn't matter who's directly responsible, but they take unconditional responsibility to provide results and to produce solutions. Unconditional responsibility, and that's critical. So whenever you take a posture of blaming, you have become the problem. Whenever also you take a posture of computing, some people take a posture of computing. They want to be computing the ills, computing the wrongs, computing them, writing them somewhere in their heart, in their book, in their heart, in their book. And as long as that conflict, the problems, the things they think that are meted against them are written down within the tablets of their heart and soul, they will never have peace within that terrain. And as long as you are computing, it means that you are also distracting yourself from attending to the issues of conflict. Do not distract yourself from attending to the issues of conflict. Address the conflict squarely, move it, find every reason, reframe your mindset, change a perspective, gain a better one that makes you healthier and better, and so that you can move it to the blue zone and attend to it. When you move into the blue zone, you can attend to it. And so it's important, do not compute, attend to it immediately and let it go. Learn to let it go. Let it go, or it frustrates you, it dampens you, it kills even. So let it go. So the next point also, postures. Placating. People tend to placate. They easily find a way to shift attention from conflict as though it doesn't exist. Alright, so when you placate, it means that you are in a self-denial. You are in a denial of the existence of conflict. Alright, so do not stay in that sense of denial. Learn to attend to it. Move it away from the red zone. It's not about you. Why did he talk to me like that? No, it's not about you. Why will he speak to me that way? He thinks I'm poor, and he thinks I'm low, he thinks I don't know it. He thinks, no, it's not about you. Can you reframe it again and look at it as an issue of the opportunity, of the issues of the organization, as an issue of the generality of the community, as an issue of the generality of the ministry? And that's important. You move it away from there, and then you can attend to it. And you will learn to be free and learn to live well with people. So take your time again and go through these lessons on conflict, and it's going to help you relieve certain burdens and keep you safe while you work with people and while you walk around people. These whole lessons are on YouTube, on Facebook and on YouTube. Just click Dr. Osuji. You will see the links on Facebook. That any topic, all the topics are there. Go through them one after the other and gain these lessons for yourself. They are life-changing. They are nuggets, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, but they will enlighten you on and transform the way you see things from your place of work and how you relate with people. I want to stop there. Thank you so much, and thank you for your patience. We will get into other issues as we continue our lessons. God bless you. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like. Remember also to share. Remember to inform your friends to get to learn more about these whole things we're talking about. Thank you. God bless you. See you next time.